What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to another episode of Huobi Research Weekly Market Chat. I'm Johnny, I'm your host today, and we also have Benz. Hey, Benz, can you hear me? Have you fixed your audio? Hey, Benz. I think Benz have he's got some issue with his mic, and then yeah, we'll wait a bit. Hey, guys. Let's wait a bit. I think they're gonna fix the thing. Hi, Eric. Good morning. Nice to meet you, Eric.
Hey guys, good morning.
Yeah, how are you doing, man?
Good. Sorry, just setting up my mic and everything.
Yeah, okay, that's very cool. I'd like to introduce you, Benz. Benz is our analyst from also from Huobi Research, and he's now in the meeting room. Hey, Benz, how are you doing, man? I think he's got some issue with his mic, but never mind. Let's just start this thing. Okay, so let me just introduce our theme. And as you can see, our audience, as you can see, we have a special guest from Injective. And Eric, the co-founder of Injective, is here today. We are going to discuss, we're going to update market with you guys together. And then we also will discuss DeFi and also about Injective protocol and how Injective protocol is going to transform DeFi or bring its impacts onto DeFi. And also we're going to learn something more about Injective as well. So let's just wait a bit, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, because I think Benz is restarting his computer. So meanwhile, why not just let's update the market. And what do you think about the market right now, Eric? Maybe I can, pull a chart.
Yeah, certainly macro isn't helping.
The FOMC is coming next week, and I think there will be a lot of volatility by then. I remember it's 14th of December, 13th of December, and then people are saying that it's going to be the phase one of the Fed pivot. Yeah, you heard of that.
Yeah, there's going to be more inclinations towards a friendlier rate hike, and It seems like the pace is going to be slower for end of year and maybe 2023. So
yeah, let me just let me share my screen. So wait a minute. Yeah, looking at the DXY chart, I think we are, the US dollar is now in a downtrend, and let's see what happens next week, because people are thinking that they're gonna slow down the rate hikes, and then there will be kind of dovish and also bullish for. I think it's also for crypto. It's bullish for crypto. I think part of the 50 basis point rate high is not yet being priced into the market, and yeah, probably gonna wait 14th until then. We're not going to do we're not going long or going short, because the trend is not clear right now. If we look at Bitcoin, and then we're trading at, I think it's now 18K something, 16K, right? We're now trading at 16K and then 16,709. We're not in a trading range. We're just in the middle of the trading range. We don't know whether it will visit the bottom or shoot up to the upper boundary of the trading range. But definitely gonna see something big is gonna happen here, like 14 December, somewhere here. This thing. Are you currently bullish on crypto, or are you now a little bit bearish?
for me,
Yeah.
always bullish, of course.
Bullish. But right now we have been in a bearish downtrend for almost like maybe one and a half years. So it kind of worries a lot of traders.
It depends on the duration. I think like short term, it's very very uncertain.
Yeah.
It could really go both ways, but if you extend the duration by 6 months or a year, perhaps maybe even 3, the positive sign gets more and more confident.
So you are long-term bullish on crypto and also on DeFi, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Let me just get back to, I would like to show you a chart here. So every week we'll update our audience with this liquidity model because the reverse repo liquidity is now I would say is not very bullish because before we had a very clear downtrend of we're seeing reverse repo going down, meaning that money is being circulated back in the economy. The money is being is no longer going to park with the Fed, and then it's a good thing for risky assets when the RP goes down. But right now we're seeing a little bit recovery here. I'd like to just get back to the PowerPoint. So wait a second. Hey Benz.
Hi. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're finally here. I've been waiting you for some time. Man.
Hi, Eric.
Yeah, yes. I would like to introduce Eric and also introduce Benz. Hey, maybe we should
get Eric.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? I have no idea how my Zoom crashed on me 10 times. So I have to use my phone to do this live streaming. Yeah.
Oh, you're using your phone. No wonder. Okay.
Yes.
That's it. So let me just.
Can you see me? I think everything is good, right?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, good. We can see it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, let's get started, man. Okay, so here, are you seeing my PowerPoint here? Can you see my PowerPoint? I'm sharing the screen. I think I'm a little stuck here.
Yes.
Let's get started. Okay.
There's at the. Okay.
Yeah, very good. So today we have Eric from Injective. Injective is a Ethereum protocol solution which is powered for DeFi. And yeah, Eric, I think some of our audience might not have heard about Injective and also you. So maybe would you like to give us a brief introduction of you and also your project as well? Thanks, Eric.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Eric, co-founder and CEO of Injective Labs. So Injective Labs is a core contributor to Injective, the blockchain. So Injective is an open, interoperable Layer 1 blockchain powering the next generation of DeFi application, and that includes decentralized spot and derivatives exchanges, prediction markets, lending protocols, and much more. It kind of uniquely provides a lot of extremely powerful core financial infrastructure primitives that applications can plug and play and leverage. And this includes a fully decentralized, MEV-resistant on-chain order book, and in addition, all forms of financial markets such as spot, perpetual, future options are also fully on-chain and fully composable. And a decentralized cross-chain bridging infrastructure is compatible with Ethereum, IBC-enabled chain, and non-EVM chains such as Solana. It also has a next-generation, highly interoperable smart contract platform based on Cosmos with advanced interchain capabilities, and also it's custom built with a self-executing smart contract logic. And Injective is built with Cosmos SDK and utilized a Tendermint-based proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. And this provides instant finality with the ability to sustain lightning-fast performance of 25,000 plus TPS.
I see, very cool, Eric. And we just learned that Injective, being a Layer 1 solution, it has to power the DeFi. And I'm wondering, are there any good projects that are already building on Injective?
There's a lot. So for a starter, I think recently Frontrunner's having a lot of fun time because of it's a fully decentralized on-chain sports betting platform. So with FIFA and everything going on, it's been getting a lot of traction. And there's some of the marquee applications such as Helix, which is it's effectively being a decentralized, spot and derivatives exchange. And a couple more deployments from Cato, White Whale, and also recently Wormhole also connected with Injective Chain. And also there's going to be a couple of pretty big projects kind of signaling and announcing their deployments this month as well.
I see. I haven't heard about the Helix. Is that a derivative trading platform, somewhat similar to DYDX?
Yeah, it's similar, except that you can interact with both spot and perpetual, and also it's fully on chain, so it doesn't rely on the AWS server going up and down. So it's definitely try it out, and it also enables access to multiple different types of cost flows, and also Ethereum and many more chain spot assets as well.
Yeah, one question for you. When you talk about moving everything on chain, just like what Helium does, and then what about if I just open a trade, and then is it being recorded on chain, or is in a side chain, or is not on chain, and then everything is on chain? Right?
If you open an order, it'll be recorded on chain.
Yeah, unlike centralized exchanges, because when you place an order and then it's not on chain, but when you withdraw or when you deposit and then it's being recorded on chain, so it's different than that, right?
Exactly. So everything is auditable. Everyone can kind of track each other's strategies and get a lot of alpha from it. So certainly, it's a much more interesting dynamic than having it like sitting on a centralized platform or being obfuscated away by a centralized server.
I see. Very cool. Actually, I might just want to check out Helium. I'm sorry, Helix, right? Is that?
Yep.
Helix, HELIX, right? Helix
protocol. Yep, helixapp.com.
App.com. Helixapp.com. Let me just share screen. Okay, so wait a minute. Let's get
just one question from me, Eric. How many trading pairs do you have currently right now on Helix?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure the specific count. Actually, it might be pretty easy for you to kind of pull it up. I think it's around 15 to 20. So obviously, it only captures a portion of the all supported markets on top of the chain. So this is kind of like the flexibility that applications like Helix get to have, which is, hey, I'm only going to support these markets on chain, and not display the other markets to the users.
Okay,
I see.
So one more question, Eric. What's good about having everything trading on chain? Does it sacrifice some speed for that, or maybe
yes? So it undergoes a frequent batch auction, which is a very novel type of matching process compared to continuous double auction that you traditionally see on top of traditional order books. And then on top of that, I think one of the most interesting aspects is also the fact that everyone's position is fully transparent. And by kind of making everything transparent, these positions actually reach an equilibrium state where there's a lot of just-in-time liquidity to be able to capture the spread, etc. And then on top of that, by having derivative fully on chain, these positions can actually be exported and maybe even tokenized and maybe even kind of aggregated together into a credit account. It basically just enables a lot more possibility for any type of DeFi developer to build additional really interesting primitives and tools. And actually, I recently had a quick research post on a potential framework that enables kind of this full global margining, portfolio margining, and also interestingly credit account model, which simulates kind of this prime brokerage type of experience where you can borrow against your portfolio with a completely isolated set of risks, and thereby protecting the kind of security and safety of the underlying markets.
I see. Very cool. What about the trading fees? I'm actually interested in maybe some of our audience might want to try it out, because they may also concern about the trading fees. If you put everything on chain, does it mean that whenever I close a long position or short position, then I have to pay the gas fee, right?
No, actually, if you interact with Helix, there's no gas fee. And then on top of that, if you place a make order, there's there's up to 1 basis point of rebates. And on top of that, there's a lot of promotional campaigns and efforts to bring on top of users. So I think trading fees and also gas fee is completely negligible for the average day user, and they can pretty much safely ignore it at this point. I think another really interesting point is that the application itself kind of abstracts away the basic requirement for having to use the native token for paying for gas, and the application will just pay the gas for the user.
I see. Very interesting. And I see it also has quite decent volume, right? 3 million USDT being traded in Ethereum perpetual per day, and that's not bad, I would say. Yeah. And also it has got some other trading pairs, so maybe 20 to 30 trading pairs on Cosmos. Yeah. What about experimental? What is it about?
Like really new markets.
I see.
Basically, for experimental purposes, it could be different in terms of liquidity, or it could be different in terms of primitives and infra. So for example, Osmosis Perpetual, it's basically the only destination for people to trade, kind of like a perpetual for Osmosis. And then for ApeCoin's case, it's a very interesting bridging mechanism, etc. So these are highly experimental, and it's meant to demonstrate to the user that hey, it's a new market. There's not a lot of participants yet, but it's you can certainly try it out if you want to.
Oh yeah, very cool. Maximum leverage is 5x, right?
Yep.
Okay, very cool. And
I think it depends on the market, so it can go up to 20x. But I think generally right now, most of the folks, the Dow just determines the maximum leverage for most of the markets to be up to 10x, and Ethereum is actually 5x.
Oh, very cool, man. How would you compare, the Helix on Injective versus DYDX on Ethereum? How would you compare these two?
Yeah, I think one big advantage is that DYDX only supports perpetual, and for Injective's case, there's been a lot of experimental markets in the past, for example, expired futures, and also different types of NFT perpetual and etc. And there will continue to be more. And user gets to trade a spot market on top of Injective. And then on another hand, I think the most interesting aspect is that this is not the only application on top of Injective. This is just a place for people to kind of try things out, interact with the protocol in the most native way. There's also White Whale, which allows for one click to subscribe into arbitrage strategies. There's also different types of guilds, which allow users to kind of subscribe to different types of market making strategies. And there's upcoming really interesting things such as Project X, which enables users to deposit into a vault and provide liquidity, and also earn some of the passive returns.
I see. Thanks, Eric. That's very cool. I'm actually coming across the new Injective update. You have that. Let me just get there. You guys have an update recently, right?
There's been so many to track.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember there's one tweet, I think just last week, regarding the biggest burn in Injective history. Would you like to elaborate more on that, Eric?
Yeah, so there was 5 million being burned as part of kind of the Genesis burn and reset. So this basically enables, it's a very, very creative way for the network to burn the initial Genesis 5 million INJ, and this way basically the core it doesn't require chain upgrade to support a specific burn coin function to be able to burn that 5 million INJ.
Let's see. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, you can actually check it out on hub.injective.network for that particular burn.
Here? Injective.
Yep, you can go to auction.
Auction. One burned. Oh, there's a recent burned round 74, totaling
Exactly.
1,000. I think Ben's referring to the 73, right? 5 million. Ben, are you talking about this?
Yes.
I see. Very cool. So
That was a lot of money.
Yeah. Currently, the price of INJ is at the price at $1 and something, 30 cents, 40 cents, somewhere around that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And what about staking in INJ? I mean, some of our users might, be interested in becoming one of the validators. And then here you have a injective staking calculator. May you just break down how staking in INJ work?
Yeah, so it's meant for securing the proof of stake network. I think right now the current APY is around 15.8%. And basically it enables users to either delegate, set up a validator, or just participate in general governance by staking. And so you can actually go back to Hub and the stake section to check out all the validators to delegate to and the current APY, et cetera. Basically, that's one way for folks to earn, yield while securing network.
Well,
and
that's really a lot of rewards. 15.85% staking rewards APR. That's very attractive, I have to say.
Yeah, it's baked into kind of like the kind of security economics for Cosmos SDK itself. So basically, if more people stake, the APY goes down. And if not a lot of people stake, the APY goes up. So right now it's kind of at this equilibrium spot. And then interestingly enough, user can so there's going to be an upcoming support for Stride. And once Stride supports and goes live with injective integration, user can stake through Stride and get this staking derivative token with a lot of liquidity, obviously, and therefore, being able to kind of stake and unstake pretty much instantly without waiting for that 21 days unbonding period.
I see. So the bonding period is 21 days. No, you mean instantly? So without a bonding period.
Exactly.
Well, that's very cool. And you also mentioned something about Stripe. Do you mean the payment gateway?
Stride. It's a liquid staking platform.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I heard Stripe. I thought some payment gateway being initiated on INJ, and that would be cool because this connects. I thought it's connecting to some fiat payment, and then people can just purchase INJ, something like that. Oh, that's very cool. As for staking, I want to propose a staking strategy for our audience. If I'm actually I'm try it out. So I'm just stake 1,000 USDT worth of INJ, and then I go short the same amount of INJ being staked here. So to secure my profits and also to hedge the risk away. So
exactly.
Yeah,
that's something you can do, and you should do.
Yeah, you should do. So 15.85% of APY is very attractive. I would definitely love to do it. So I'm proposing a staking strategy for our audience. So I'm gonna repeat once again if you didn't catch the strategy. Actually, just take an example. Just stake 1,000 USD worth of INJ on the staking, and then maybe you can just use the platform. I think Eric showed us the Helix, right? You can open a short position on Helix, shorting the same amount of INJ you staked, and in this way, I think your position won't be affected by you can hedge the volatility away. Yeah, exactly, and that's a good way to earn some nice profits.
Yep,
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there are actually.
And one question for me.
Oh, go ahead, Vance.
Yeah. So Eric, how much does it take to become a validator on the ING?
So if you scroll to the bottom of the page, you can see kind of like the validator with the lowest amount of delegated stake, and until there's a governance proposal to expand the total validator set, all you need to do is accumulate enough type of delegation. In this case, it's around the lowest is around 40,000 INJ. So if you accumulate above that, you get to be part of the active set. And becoming validator is as simple as running the light client node.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm a validator, so what's the APR? Is it the same as the normal stakers, or validators get a higher APR?
So you can actually, as a validator, you can charge a little bit of commission. So for example, some of them charge 5%, some of them charge 10%, some of them charge 0%, etc. as a promotional effort. And for validator, let's say everyone delegates to you, you basically earn 10% of all the staking rewards that attributes to you.
I see.
I see.
The commission rate here refers to the commission charged by this validator, right?
Yep. So essentially, like if users are earning 15% APY in a year, then 5% of that 50% will go to the validator.
Oh, I see. It's cool. And it's actually, I think it's very decentralized. Voting power, 11%, 11%. Binance staking, very cool. 10%.
The goal is obviously to spread it out as much as possible. Educate the users on delegate to different validators. And like bring more expanding the active set as a matter of fact, so more and more validators get to participate in the consensus as well.
Yeah. So is it that the validator with less commission would be more attractive to general users?
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, like there's also uptime to consider, etc. But general rule of thumb is the uptime is the same. The lower commission, obviously, the better for the user.
I say, hey, Ben, so we should activate this one, right?
I didn't know that Huobi has one.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know Huobi.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might run some promotion on Huobi for staking as well. Yeah, since we are we have a node here, right? Yes.
What have we disabled, right? It's now.
Yeah, I think Huobi staking is kind of like a little bit inactive relative to most of the other operations, but let's get it started back up.
Yeah, we're gonna start back up, man.
Yes, I think I can try to push for it. Yes, because recently I ran the node staking for Chainlink as well. So I think we can work something out. Yeah.
Thanks, Spence. That's very cool. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And also, would you introduce the injective bridge? Because it might sound, something unfamiliar with our audience. The audience might, kind of new.
So injective bridge is kind of this like one-stop shop for bridging, and so it's a very, very nice UI for that kind of like teaches user to pick like the canonical bridge for what is most commonly accepted by the community and also the applications. In this case, different type of network has different types of bridge being utilized in the backend. And Injective and Ethereum is kind of this native bridge, which enables a very, very seamless and composable integration. And obviously, with upcoming support for Wormhole and existing support via IBC, Axelar, etc., it basically enables connection to a lot of ecosystems, all within all under 5 minutes of bridging time.
Okay, excellent. That's very cool. And feature the app. Oh, you just mentioned Helix. There are actually other more protocols. The INJ Dojo exchange.
There's a lot of community efforts. Obviously, we need to add a couple more because there's been a couple more deployments this month, as a matter of fact. But we'll keep it updated on the hub and allow everyone to kind of check it out.
Yeah, of course. It's backed by INJ Injective, the INJ Dojo Exchange.
Yeah, so that's also like a community-led kind of platform. It does a lot of really, really cool like promotional campaigns. I think they also recently did like a poker night, etc. So certainly a very, very interesting platform as well. And so they're currently kind of undergoing like a really, really massive update to their interface. I checked it out, kind of like got a sneak peek out of it, and really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Great.
Very great. Reward, trade, earn.
Yeah, just let me steer us back to the actually the main topic about whether DEX is coming, is on the rise after the FTX collapse.
Yeah.
So
Right.
recently, yes. So recently, there's this. I saw there was this update on the fiat on brand for ING as well. Is there any progress, or is there like a noticeable increase in volumes of users coming, using this service coming onto ING?
Yeah, it's actually quite amazing. So like if you connect your wallet on, let's say, Helix, on Qwerty, I believe Qwerty Exchange. So basically it allows you to kind of onboard with fiat all under 2 minute, 2 minute and 40 seconds for like average new user. And this basically allows you to kind of get started with trading utilizing a fiat gateway right away. And so basically it helped with a lot of onboarding. It helped with kind of like a general integration. And Bilal stats has been kind of growing exponentially since the FTX issues. Basically been very, very busy handling all the traction and all the new deployments, etc.
Yeah, before I used to trade on centralized exchanges like Huobi, and also I used to trade on Bybit because they've got a lot of altcoins trading pairs. You can do leverage there. Since the FTX collapse, and then I'm starting to worry about my own funds. And previously, I used to trade on DRDX, but I think that trading fee is too expensive. Yeah, that's why maybe I should try Injective. And it's cool. It's cool to see. You said many people have now onboarded onto DEXs. And how would how would you see this rivalry between DEXs and central exchanges?
I don't see it as a rivalry. I think like DEXs have a lot of value in terms of just having like a much broader feature set, and also empowering a lot of different individual developers to come up with really, really crazy ideas, and contributing to this same shared kind of knowledge base, and same shared like platform ecosystem and like community. And I think that comes at like a slight disadvantage in terms of speed, and in terms of kind of like HFT trader friendliness. But centralized platforms excel at really providing a really, really nice in-class kind of like just-in-time liquidity, and a lot of activity and flow as well.
Yeah, one thing I like about centralized exchanges is that they have the trading bot strategies for users to deploy. And that's one cool feature that I think you might as well want to introduce. Some bot trading strategies on Injective on Helix as well. I think that would be
there is actually.
Really?
Yeah, so not by Helix, but like actually by, I believe it's guilds.dexterium.exchange. So that's kind of like a beta experimental feature where a user can just let a bot kind of take care of the trading activity, etc. I think there are also like a couple other folks working on this, such as Qwerty, etc. And that basically enables users to do market making, to do basis trading, etc. And really have a lot of fun with it.
I see. Very cool. So you mean that now some very good traders can now propose their trading strategies on this platform, and then users can deploy these strategies, and then the trader to get commission reward, something like that, right?
Exactly. One of the upcoming feature by I think INJ Dojo, I believe, actually enables users to get copy trading. So people can sign up to be copied, and this basically allows them to kind of earn the trading fees. And all of this is done in a fully decentralized way, where anyone who wants to copy the strategy will be able to kind of execute once the person being copied finishes the trade.
See. One more question about the liquidity of DEXs and central exchanges. As we know, central exchanges tend to have a better liquidity, more depth order book. So how would you, think that for decentralized exchanges to grow, and then they're gonna have more liquidity, right? And then how would they achieve this?
Yeah, I mean, for Injective and Helix's case, we've been partnering with a lot of large institutions to provide really, really strong best-in-class liquidity, and they're progressively scale up the liquidity as they progress in their integration and development. And Jump is, for example, one of the top market makers in the spot market on top of Injective. And basically, one interesting fact is that for Injective's case, unlike most of the decentralized exchanges where there's volume scales with their TVL, because there's just constantly a lot of arbitrage opportunities to kind of take advantage of kind of like the liquidity providers impermanent loss. On Injective's case, because it's an order book, there's actually those who provide liquidity, those who market make, have basically the identical type of alpha as working with a centralized platform. So basically, for some of the best market makers out there, they can certainly earn a lot of yield and also opportunity by deploying on top of the platform. And there's also this DMM program, which allows for institutional kind of like market makers, maybe even like smaller mid-scale market makers, to be able to provide really, really strong liquidity and earning like a small reward for it.
I see. So liquidity definitely one of the most important things when it comes to trading, and good to hear that Injective is now scaling up, and that's a good thing. And yeah, very cool. So also have one question for you. You just mentioned something about institutional trading, and I saw there is a Injective's API which enables institutional trading on INJ, right? How does it actually work? That one, the API.
Yeah.
Right?
So the API is basically like an index service, which makes the integration experience much more seamless, and it'll basically be very, very close to integrating with a centralized platform. And if you go on api.injective.network, that allows you to kind of get started to build like an algorithmic trading strategy on day one. And if you're not too familiar, there's actually a lot of demo and like references that are utilizing some of the very, very sophisticated market making strategies out there to kind of get started and participate right away. And on top of that, I think there's also DMM program, which is dmm.injective.exchange, I believe. Actually, dmm.injective.network. And that basically is a kind of community-led effort to kind of reward some of the top liquidity providers on top of the network.
I'm now heading to dmm.injective.network. So we might just have a look there. Sure, let's go on there. Sorry, not this one. Injective DMM. Here. They got it right. DMM.injective, right? I think it's loading, right?
Let me check on my end.
dmm.injective.network. Right, never mind, we'll get back to it later. So Ben, do you have any question, regarding the
Oh, tried hard refreshing because it loaded okay on my end.
Really? Okay. So that might be my problem. Anyways, I think we can get back later.
Yeah,
Might be some
no worries.
connection problem. Yeah. So let's get back to the discussion of DEXs and CX. You just talk about they're not rivalry, they empower each other, and I think that's one interesting view because previously I thought you would deem CX as your competitors, and that's not a thing, right? And would you elaborate on the point that you think DEXs are actually empowering CX, and also CX is actually empowering DEX. They're working together. What's your view on this one?
Yeah. I think basically centralized platforms and decentralized platforms attract different types of flow. So being the best possible decentralized platform will overall strengthen the space and kind of all grow together. And obviously centralized platforms enables really fast order updates and trades, whereas decentralized platforms might be slower, but obviously injective chain is highly optimized, so the block time is 1 second to make it as close as possible. But it's obviously not as fast as the clock speed of CPUs. And so for a decentralized venue, it just has a lot of kind of shared common knowledge and kind of a developer mind share to be able to build different types of application, to experiment and enable feature and cool integrations much faster than centralized platforms because it's a composable and permissionless platform. And so it's really trying to be the best venue for a different set of user.
See, thanks, Eric. People also think about the security issue when it comes to decentralized exchanges, because recently we have seen a lot of attacks going on. For example, the ANKR attack, in which the exploiter depleted the ANKR. I think it's the staking pool, and then which was a tragedy. And how would you address the security issue when it comes to decentralized exchanges?
Yeah, for injective case is actually very interesting. Is because these applications are utilizing the same type of core financial primitives that are not a smart contract, but rather on-chain mechanism, and this basically enables kind of like this a very highly secure module to be plugged and played, utilized by these developers instead of building it from scratch and kind of have that a fragmented kind of a security coverage. So let's say there are 5 or 10 exchange applications utilizing the exchange module, and then it's going to motivate all these same applications to audit and look into and contribute to strengthening the security of that shared common module. And obviously, out of the box, the core modules are heavily audited and routinely kind of updated in terms of a new set of auditors and a new set of security researchers. So basically, the advantage of being this sector specific blockchain is that it enables kind of the same set of core primitives to be extensively audited and benefiting all the developers trying to leverage it at the same time.
Very interesting thing about a module is not smart contract, right? Because it's kind of a new thing to me. I need you to elaborate a little bit more about the module thing. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So the module is kind of baked into the chain itself. So this basically enables much tighter implementation, much easier check for different types of edge cases, and ensures that it can't be as easily exploited as smart contracts. And more importantly, the validator securing the injective network are all aligned for kind of the health and security of the core module itself. So they'd oftentimes either participate in auditing or monitor for any type of unusual or security exploit activities. And once those type of things happen, it's actually baked into some of their agreements to be able to kind of protect the chain before basically protect the assets before earning some extra block reward.
I see. I think it would be better to to break down the architecture layers of Injective for before we moving on to addressing the security of Injective. Would you just maybe give us a brief introduction to the architecture of INJ, maybe the layers, and then we can
I think you definitely check out like docs.injective.network. That kind of gives you a very, very in-depth like developer documentation on how Injective works and the architecture of Injective. So Injective is built on top of Cosmos SDK. So this basically ensures kind of like this highly secure kind of Tendermint proof of stake, as well as like native composability and cross-chain integrations via IBC. And on top of that, it has kind of like a containerized different types of modules where Injective can implement. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the modules that the labs team built is actually being utilized by other Cosmos-based chains such as Umi. And then these modules will basically allow for kind of like these very, very specific custom logic within the blockchain itself to have a highly optimized experience, have a highly optimized kind of like a scalability for different types of use cases, etc. And some of the core kind of modules are exchange module, which includes like the order book primitive, the derivatives primitive, the spot primitive, etc. There's also the Oracle module, which enables basically a developer to have access to various different types of on-chain data price feeds, and I think Pivot is also deploying very, very soon. And then on top of that, there's also the WASM module, etc. And this basically enables users to be able to deploy smart contract in that environment and take advantage of the very, very cool like self-executing or auto-executing smart contract feature that Injective has. And there's also quite a few like other modules as well. A lot for developers to explore and leverage.
Very exciting features. So at this stage, how would you describe the development of Injective? What do you think is in a premature stage, or is it in a developing stage? And how would you vision the 2023, maybe next year, the future development of Injective?
I think it's always constant stream of development. Never really slowing down. As a matter of fact, right now, it's been faster than ever. So it's extremely exciting for us. And I would say, depending on different types of modules and different types of primitives. For example, for the exchange module, it's definitely extremely mature at this point, and any type of update will basically be like a V2 type of update where a lot of things get like highly further optimized and kind of like further improved for a more generalized use case. So exchange module at this point is certainly highly mature. There's also a lot of different new modules that are in various stages, etc. So the great thing about Injective chain is that different modules can have different levels of maturity, different levels of like coverage, etc. And it's constantly growing, and basically the chain can basically support new features extremely quickly without having to kind of deal with the holistic issue in like a generalized environment.
I see. And one last question before we move on to another section. That is the the value of the INJ tokens, because that is what a lot of our users and a lot of our audience might be interested in, because they would like to learn more about the value of INJ. What makes INJ a good token? And when it comes to purchasing INJ, what should our audience know about? Would you give us some advice on that?
I think it's always do your own research, but like just talking about like some of the technical context on the token itself. It's for, first of all, securing a network via proof of stake, via staking. Second of all, it's the ecosystem growth scales with kind of like the supply of the token or like the economics of the token. So the all the protocol fees, all the on-chain application fees, all goes to this auction and burn period. So it goes undergoes weekly, and we checked it out briefly earlier, and this basically ensures that even though there's a staking aspect of it, but there's also kind of like this this deflationary aspect of it, and over time, it will certainly be like a highly deflationary economic, and there's also a very, very interesting like governance basically like governance participation where staked delegated tokens can participate in governance, and a lot of other really, really interesting use cases such as general gas and collateral, etc. as well.
Okay, very cool. So good to know that INJ being the core of the whole ecosystem, settling gas fee and also empowering the network. And yeah, I think maybe we should move on to discussing market things, because I think Ben's a little bit excited to share his views on the current market. So when I ask you a question, Eric, are you busy? Are you busy handling and also developing INJ, or you still got yourself some time to look into the market, maybe assessing market trends? And do you do something like that? Do you actually trade, or yeah, I'm just a little bit curious about it.
Yeah, I'm actually, so obviously by being in DeFi and building like a blockchain for finance, I always keep track of it. Actually, a very, very horrible discretionary trader. Probably do not ever take my trade advice. I spend a lot more time in terms of high frequency strategies and like quant strategies than
Also,
thinking
you're a
about
quant
like what are
trader.
yeah, more on that side rather than thinking about building up a position and watching this charts 24/7.
I see. That's very cool. You can always earn money doing arbitrage, right?
Yeah, I think the arbitrage opportunity has certainly gone down recently, but there's a lot more like interesting other opportunities as well.
I think there will be more arbitrage opportunity coming next week, because I think banks can tap a little bit into what's coming, ahead of us next week, because people are talking about the phrase one Fed pivot. People are getting excited. I think some of them might not be, priced into the market, and when that happens, 50 basis point, and then boom, market pump, and everybody earns money. Does it work like that, Vance?
I think everybody is too optimistic right now, right? I think personally, I feel that the 50 basis points hike is still too much for the market to handle.
So 75 still on the table.
Yeah. What I meant is like 50 or 75 basis point hike is still a large rate hike. It's like I think the market is like being very optimistic in the way like, oh, okay, we're having a 50 basis point hike, but we forgot the fact that we had 475 basis points hike previously, right? So yes, so
bad memory.
it's a matter of like
you have bad memory.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Sometimes I feel that whether the market is sane or whether it's in euphoria right now, because after 3 or 4 75 basis point hike, the market is still at a very, I would say, at a stable rate compared to previous macro conditions where interest rate rise too fast, and market tantrum came in and everything just falls apart. So right now, I'm not very sure where the economy is going. So it's very confusing.
Okay, so I'm gonna propose two directions. No, if they're gonna do a 51, and then I think we're gonna do a little bit pump. Yeah, because I think it's 80% of people are forecasting a 50% basis point, right? And then the rest of
yeah.
So a little bit of that has not been priced in. And one important thing about the phase one of the Fed pivot is that even though they slow down the rate hike, but they still have several months to go for maintaining the rate at 50% basis point. That's another thing. Okay, so what we're going to see is maybe a spike, a good pump, what we call maybe a dead cat bounce, and that's some overhype situation that we might expect later on. But if that is not the case, go ahead, Vince.
So right now the market is expecting 50 basis point hike in December and another 50 basis point hike in January, and right after that, the market will remain at this range of 5%. 5% for the next 3 to 4 quarters, 11 months, before the Fed starts to ease the interest rate. So imagine 11. Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so imagine 11 months or 12 months of 5% interest rates. I think the economy will do well. I mean, market tantrum will come in, and a lot of business will start to feel the impact of high interest rates because operation cost of borrowing goes up, and unemployment actually goes up. So this is the reason why a lot of market participants, a lot of economists are actually weighing in or pricing in recession somewhere around next year.
Recession
is in line with what we previously mentioned about the yield curve inversion, right?
Yeah.
Yield curve inversion, where once inverted, it takes around 10 months or to 1 year to actually realize the recession.
Yeah.
Right. So it's still a long way to go, I feel.
I wonder what Eric thinks about this.
Yeah.
Being a quantitative trader, do you actually pay attention to these policies, or you actually you don't have to?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think basically it's always a mindset for me. It's it could have been worse. It's not good either. And obviously, the CPI, even though it's on a downward trend, it's in the eyes of the Fed and also the broader market, it's basically a very, very minimally marginal type of improvement on the CPI. And certainly the Fed still has a target to hit, and it's about how fast they want to hit it. And obviously there are positive signs after the positive CPI print, and some of the signaling from the Fed side to kind of slow down the rate hike. But this is after right now, the environment we're in. This is after a couple of percentage of a hike already, and adding on top of another 50, 75, who knows, 100 over a few months. It's still going to hurt, obviously. Yeah. But it's better than what we had to deal with before.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Which worse? Can't expect the worst, man. Yeah. So I think I'm running out of time. I think we're at the end of the session already. So let me just take some time. Thanks, Eric, for joining us today, and definitely we learned a lot of insights from Eric towards DEX, DeFi, and also central exchanges. It's also good to see Injective protocol growing and scaling. Such a nice protocol, and also very good staking opportunity as we went through 15.8% staking reward, and that's very attractive. I would say lucrative. So let me just spend maybe 2 minutes going to the candy drop section, because it's our program to reward our users for watching the live stream. So make sure
That's interesting.
interesting. Just we encourage them to trade, to earn some crystals. That's the reward for trading, and then they can use the crystals to register for certain events. For example, this one, the candy drop event. And then after registering,
Eric, Johnny, the screen is still. I think the screen is still unloading on the Injective network. Maybe you could change the PowerPoints to the candy drop.
Oh, yeah. Damn, Chef told me earlier, man. Wait a minute. So my screen has been,
you're too focused
on the network for so long. Oh my God. I thought I was on the page. So getting back to candy drop event. So our users will trade on spot. Then we trade some INJ or other tokens. They're going to earn some crystals for trading, and then we'll select a few candidates and we'll reward them with 100 USDT. We call them lucky stars, and we'll notify them via SMS. That's some incentive for them to watch our live stream and to get engaged in. So at the end, I would like to thank Eric again. Thank you for joining us, joining me, and also Ben's. Definitely, I enjoyed the conversation with you. What a legend, man. I think you're very young, man. Very young developer.
Yeah. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Vance.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see you next time.